Joining me now to discuss this is Senator Matt Canavan. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Senator. This policy is so short-sighted. What impact do you see it having on jobs?
Well, ultimately, Amanda, it's great to be on your show, but ultimately high taxes mean higher prices. The government has flagged here that they're going to put a massive new tax on the production of energy in Australia, and that's going to only do one thing, but to force the price of energy up. Now, that, of course, means for households already struggling to pay their bills, it's going to be made even harder. But you're right to focus on the job impact too, because not only will it mean, of course, less investment in our oil and gas sectors, a big driver of job growth directly themselves, it'll also make it much, much harder for any industry, any job that relies on the provision of cheap power. We're losing and have lost thousands of manufacturing jobs in this country because our power prices are too high and uncompetitive. And it's hard to think of a government policy that's actually helping here. I mean, it's hard to think of a government policy that the Labor Party has put in place over the past year that seeks to show love for the resources sector, that seeks to try to attract investment in reliable energy. Everything they're doing, from price caps last year to now higher taxes to more red tape by blocking approval processes, everything they're doing is forcing up the price of power. And next time you get your quarterly energy bill, you can thank Jim Chalmers for the extra taxes he's putting on top of it.
Yeah, and people don't seem to appreciate that while they might like to tar the energy industry with, a dirty label, if you make the price of energy high, it's not just affecting jobs in that industry. It's not just affecting the people who come out of a coal mine with dust on their face. It affects everything from manufacturing right through to the ability of the local corner store to operate the refrigeration to be able to provide food and drink and basic services in the local neighbourhood. Those jobs are affected right across the board. So what should the government be doing when it comes to the tax regime for this sector?
Well, look, I'm not against proper reform here of the tax situation involving the detail of the PRRT. The review the government's flagging is one that the former coalition government instituted. Of course, we should look at these things from different times. I see the government's been bagging out the design of the Petroleum Resource Rent Tax today. It's actually a tax that was designed by Labor when they were in government, and it's been there for a while. So every now and again you might want to tinker at the edges here, but the problem is the overall messaging the government's providing here that, as I say, they're whacking on massive new tax rises here. They put a price cap on what the industry can charge for its output, and then of course there's the red tape. They're doing nothing. They're going to set up a whole new environmental agency in Canberra to stop oil and gas and coal projects. And it's hard to see, like, if you're an investor and you're looking at where do you want to invest in resources around the world, you don't get any love from the Labor Party. You get no love if you're in resources and mining from the Labor Party. They don't seem to care about mining or resources jobs anymore. They used to care about those workers in those industries, but the Labor Party have long left fighting for the jobs of those who work in high-vis bright colours every day. And those investment dollars, I know, talking to businesses, are going to countries like Canada and North America and Europe, even, because in Europe you've got governments wanting oil and gas. You've got the UK government opening up the North Sea for oil and gas. As I say here, there's just not an ounce of love for one of the major economic drivers of our country, which is our mining and resources sector.